We're talking about golden seal tonight. Why are we talking about golden seal? 2 years ago, it was just another herb tincture in a bottle on a dispensary shelf. And now it's become a medicine that's become in short supply. If you buy it, it's basically, I think last I heard, you're rationed to 500 mils as a practitioner. And of course, as a everyday person, you may have noticed that it's just hard to get. It's disappearing on the shelves. So I want to share with you some insights on golden seal tonight and show you some great pictures of it that I've been growing. And also we'll be talking about the Herbology Hub that I'm launching tonight, my new membership for herb growers. So I've just shared with you, golden seal has become scarce. Why did it become scarce? My insight into that is that we had the COVID years, we had a breakdown in supply lines in terms of material being shipped from one country to another. And as the main source of golden seal is North America, I also think their domestic usage of it during the COVID era surged. So there just wasn't anything left over for us here in Australia. And what it highlighted was our precariousness of supply, in that we're dependent on these long supply lines, we're dependent on it being grown in another country. And it showed us a gap in where do we source our herbs from? Because I think for many years we've been very complacent about that. Now, tonight we've got, we're aiming for 60 minutes. We may go a little bit over. So for 40 minutes, I'm going to be presenting and you can interact through the chat. And then we'll have about 20 minutes for Q&A. Now, thank you for introducing yourself in the chat and where you're from. It's great. Next page, please, Kylie. So this is my commitment through my business, is bringing the healing power of plants into people's lives through education and specialist plants and natural skincare products. And you can see there's some of the herbs that I grow. You can see golden seal, Solomon seal that I first started out with, and arnica that I'm working on at the moment. And I've been doing in-person workshops, and now I've branched out into online. So my background is a qualified horticulturalist. I studied at the Adelaide Botanic Garden, 45 years of growing various sorts of plants. With medicinal herbs, I've grown over 135 species, although much less now. I've also studied, and I've got a Bachelor of Applied Science and qualified as a Western medical herbalist. And I've been growing herbs intensely since 2006. Next page, thank you, Kylie. Now tonight, we've got what I call the electronic lucky door prize. As you've registered, we've been putting your names into the wheel of names, and then later on this evening, we'll announce a winner just before Q&A. Next page, please, Kylie. So this is the point of view that I come from in my involvement with plants in my lifetime, that we give plants the respect they deserve, and that we see them as partners with us on the planet, having their own integrity, purpose, and reasons for existence, totally independent of humanity. Next page, please, Kylie. So my business, Tindery Mountain Herbs, as I've mentioned, I'm a specialist grower of select medicinal herbs, and my commitment is to have endangered herbs, of which golden seal is one, sustainably cultivated in Australia to supply natural medicine practitioners. And further to that, to form an Australian community of growers, creating a new paradigm of sustainable herbal medicine, and doing this through a deep ecology agricultural system. Next page, please, Kylie. So this is how we're going to progress tonight and the topics. So firstly, we'll look at habitat, and then threats to golden seal, life cycle, sustainability, a way forward. We'll go for our giveaway prize and let everyone know that. And then we'll have a very special offer for the launch of the Herbology Hub. And then we'll go into Q&A. Next page, please, Kylie. Now we're going to look at the habitat of golden seal. So the next page, please, Kylie. So as you're aware, golden seal grows in North America, largely on the eastern states. And it's from Ontario in Canada right down to Mississippi, Missouri. And it's an understory plant in deciduous forests. So now threats to golden seal, of which there are a few. And perhaps you can put something in the chat what you think are threats to golden seal. Next slide, please. So the first one, of course, deforestation. And in the New England area, oh, great, yeah, loss of habitat, over-harvesting, that's great. So you can see in the New England area, since they first colonised, 80% reduction in the forest area. And in Canada, now less than 5% of those original woodlands remain. So you can see that in certain areas, there's been a tremendous reduction in its original habitat. 30% of population reduction in golden seal in the last 27 years. Spring, and you can see that. So after dormancy over winter, this is what you'll see in summer. Now notice how the leaves are coming up and the flowers are forming all at the same time. Here's because the flower of golden seal. Now you can notice you've got female parts in the middle, the ovules, the stigma, and around the outside you've got the stamens, and notice no petals. It's quite an open, simple plant. Now here is the ripe fruit. Now, this is a highly attractive item. I've found I've had to net my plants against bowerbirds and all sorts of other creatures that think, and geese that think they want to have a little nibble. And in the wild, turkeys actually eat the fruit from the golden seal and then disperse the seeds in their droppings. So this fruit is really it's quite soft and mucilaginous, and you'll see this in a moment, and very pulpy. It's almost like a raspberry. So sources of the plants. You've got two of the sources here, and we've got both of these gentlemen on the webinar tonight, Tony Hoseman and Stephen McLennan from All Rare Herbs. Both of these gentlemen sell golden seal at the moment. I know I've been asked, can I buy a plant? Has he got a plant for sale? I'm not selling any plants until I've got my mother stock up. And Bella Marsh was saying, any way we can get them to WA. I know Tony has sent plants over in WA. I think there may be some growers over there. I'm not sure how high profile they are. Sometimes people wish to be discreet about their growing. Okay, Bella says that would be greatly appreciated. Fantastic. Okay, so in this part of the evening, I want to tell you about the launch and the development of my subscription membership called Herbology Hub. And it's a program for folk who are keen to grow medicinal herbs, be it in their backyard or on a semi-commercial scale. And it'll be a program where I share my knowledge on growing herbs with people and foster and support their efforts. Next page, please. So I'd like to extend an invitation to everyone on the call tonight, everyone who's either a green thumb or a serious grower, to join in with this program. So I'm offering the first level at the moment, and I've called it Sprout. So it's for people who are actively growing herbs and want to expand their skills and increase their success. Now, yeah, there's plenty of books and there's the internet and there's gardening shows, but that only goes so far. And in this group, I'm sharing all of my knowledge and skills and holding nothing back. If you're into expanding your herb growing knowledge and, more importantly, getting better results, if you want to freely share your knowledge and your experience with others, and you're ready to make the investment in time and money to step up and transform your herb growing, then this is the program for you. Next page, please. Also, look, if you're happy where you currently are in your herb growing adventure, or you don't want to expand your activities or be in community with others, that's fine too. And it may not be the right time for you to step into this, but if it's not the right time, I'd certainly encourage you to keep in touch and jump in later on. It's beginning. The name Herbology Hub only just turned up a couple of days ago, and it's opened up a whole new area that we can go into with this program. And I'm determined to make it so it's very responsive to people's needs. It won't just be me going through a preset agenda. We're going to tailor the programs to where people are at and what their issues and where they want to go. And here's my guarantee with the program. If you participate fully for 3 months and it doesn't work out for you, or you're not fully satisfied, you receive a full refund of all your monies. No questions asked, no hassle, no dog ate your homework excuses needed. I'll refund your money if you're not happy. Okay, next slide, please. It's a couple of testimonials from people who've been to my courses or been out to the farm and seen what I do out here. You can see it, it was one of the best experiences, a pioneer and honest knowledge broker, my training style. I'm very enthusiastic about herbs, absolutely. Now, also I'd like to thank Kylie Mowbray Allen and the Hello Media team. I'd also like to thank Tony Hoseman for his pioneering work in growing, and also for Stephen McLennan in having All Rare Herbs as a business here in Australia. It's just been amazing as a backstop, having all sorts of herbs that we can source there. So let's have a look at what we've got. We've got a question from Web Wisdom. What is the most common form of harvesting you use? Ooh, whole plant, including rhizome or just leaves. Good question. Traditionally, it's just been roots and crown. Not many people have got into the leaf and stem, but in the commercial trade, they will often use leaf and stem because they think they're bulking up their product. There hasn't been much differentiation, thinking that you could use the leaf and stem for a sustainable harvest. I hope that answers your question. Next one is, are there many drainage holes in the styrofoam box? Yes, a lot. And I sometimes put newspaper over them or shade cloth. Okay, what else have we got? Is golden seal a noxious weed to take over pasture for livestock? I wish it was. Unfortunately not. Its cultivation requirements are a little bit too picky for that. It's not in the Hypericum arena. And Bella Marshall says, yes, All Rare Herbs is one of the most reliable seed sellers accessible to me in Western Australia. So grateful for them. Absolutely, Bella. Now, Cassandra says, can you force grow the dormant stage in a cool room, for instance? Ooh. So you're saying you're almost like collapsing the winter for them. I know there was some work done in those New Zealand research papers about putting them in a controlled environment and trying to collapse the year cycle. It would be an interesting experience, worth trying, absolutely worth trying. Murray is saying, can this herb grow in eucalyptus mulch? Murray, what I would say with that is I would partly compost the eucalyptus mulch first. Contrary to belief, eucalyptus mulch actually boosts plant growth. You see a dead eucalypt when it drops its leaves. There's abundant grass growth underneath. So